they never catch a break. And that is their whole foundation forevermore, is that peer pressure, that bullying, that comparison trap. And it's so unhealthy.
Talk about some of the mental and emotional benefits of homeschooling.
Okay, well, on Monday you talked a little bit about like the 6-year-old being like ripped out of bed and thrown on a bus. The stress level of that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm watching, okay, if you look historically at studies, mental struggles, mental disorders, all of that, depression, suicide rate. I mean, I know you can talk about the LGBT stuff, it's everywhere. But another little thing that adds on to it is I think the pressures at the young ages are so much more. Like when you take that little teeny tiny kid away from their mom so early and they're gone now. I mean, public kindergarten, at least here, is all day long. I mean, your kid leaves first thing in the morning and they're not home till the end of the day like every other grade.
Yeah.
And that's mental stress. That is emotional stress. I mean, kids are being exposed to bullying at such a younger age. When they're supposed to be home on their mama's lap being read to or outside playing in the dirt. Instead, they're thrown into the schools where there's bullying, there's peer pressure. I mean, 5-year-olds should not be dealing with peer pressure. They should be building sandcastles, And so we see all these mental and emotional. How about comparison?
Yeah.
I mean, a 5-year-old shouldn't be comparing their outfits if they're cool or not with other 5-year-olds. That didn't even exist that early on. And I just see these young kids, and then that's how they start at 5 or even younger at 4. There's a lot of public preschool programs. And then they never catch a break. And that is their whole foundation forevermore, is that peer pressure, that bullying, that comparison trap. And it's so unhealthy.
Yeah. It's so hard to think about kids being apart from their parents, especially their moms. I mean, God created us as moms to nurture our kids, and we can't nurture them when they're not with us. We can when they're with us, of course, in the evening and on the weekends. But when we're apart from our kids for, 30 to 40 hours a week, that is so much time. And even my oldest, I mean, there are so many times where she's just like, Mom, can you just come sit with me? Like, I just want to be with you.
Right.
And, Lacey, my youngest, I mean, she's my snuggler. And sometimes she's like, let's read a book or let's play a game. She just needs that mom time, which in a classroom, they're not going to get that from their teacher, even if their teacher loves them, even if they have a great teacher who loves Jesus and who loves their kids in their classroom. They cannot fulfill the emotional needs of the kids in their class.
They weren't made to. They weren't created to.
Right. They couldn't physically do it.
Correct.
There's just not enough time.
Yep.
And being able to just be with our kids.
Yes. I mean, that alone
for their mental well-being is so important.
That alone is health inducing. I mean, that alone is going to make them leaps and bounds ahead in their mental health. And I think, so for example, on the flip side, yes, they get peer pressure, they get all those things in the school. But then when they're home, this is the coolest part of it. We get to nurture who our kids are, who they are and who they're created to be. We get to discover what they love and how God made them. And then we get to nurture that rather than the peer pressure to be like everybody else, the comparison trap. That's bad. But the good part, the cool part about homeschool is there's no comparison. I mean, they'll have that natural comparison with siblings, but we get to direct the narrative that says you were created this way by God and your brother was created this way. And both are equally as amazing and awesome. And then we get to nurture that and really encourage them to be who they are and not what the world's telling them to be. And I just, that produces such mental and emotional health in a child. And I think we can also talk about the mental and emotional health in a mom is, do you know how many moms I hear on the first day of kindergarten? Well, there's two kinds of moms. There's the one that's like, yes, get them out the door. And that just makes me sick.
Yeah.
But then you have the other moms that are like, I cried so hard on the first day of school.
Right.
And I want to say, that's not healthy. Like, that's not, that's because you're doing something that goes against your mental and emotional health. Like, that's because you're not supposed to be letting your kid go that early. Like, there's a reason that that's hurting you and hurting them. I mean, there's a reason that it's scary because it's not good for you or them.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.